NTA International News.
Muslims world over in Eid al-Kabir celebrations. President Jonathan enjoins them to live in peace and love amidst challenges. Relief materials for victims of insurgency in Borno State by Special Presidential Committee in the spirit of Eid al-Kabir. Plus, another medical breakthrough, first ever transplanted womb baby born. Hello there, so good to have you join us on NTA International News. I am Oku Ekbayong, Baraka de Salah. As Muslims celebrate Eid al-Kabir, President Jonathan has called on Nigerians to live in peace and love with their neighbors as the country overcomes all challenges confronting the nation. The president made the call while receiving members of the FCT Muslim community who are in the presidential villa to pay him Salah homage. State House correspondent Shagulawale has details.
It is the tradition by the FCT Muslim community to pay homage to the president at his villa residence, a tradition that over the years has cemented the love and peaceful coexistence among the entire FCT community. The FCT Muslim community, led by Vice President Namadi Sambo, has continued to keep faith with God and the tradition. President Jonathan used the visit to express his compliments to all Muslims on the occasion of the Eid al-Kabir celebration. Described this year's celebration as quite unique, going by the day of Arafat, which was observed on a Friday and in the year of Nigeria's centenary. Although a lot is happening in the country, the president noted, and around the world, the president expressed optimism in Nigeria's greatness, and as it is the beginning of better things to happen to Nigeria.
So for us as a nation, this period, we use it to charge ourselves, to call on ourselves, to encourage ourselves to continue to pray for the forgiveness of those who are doing things that are not religious, and for Allah to see us through. I believe in this country. I believe that Nigeria has a lot to offer, not only Nigerians, but to the world, and that surely we'll get to where we want to go. Whatever obstacles we see are very ephemeral.
Vice President Namadi Sambo, in his remarks, thanked Allah for allowing peaceful coexistence in the country and expressed appreciation to the president for the enabling environment for Muslims to perform their religious obligations.
I therefore seize the opportunity to pray to all Nigerians, to pray to Nigeria that we have continued to have peace and to be our brothers' keepers.
However uncommon was the presence of the Primate All Nigeria Anglican Communion, the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, and Christian Association of Nigerian Members, the FCT chapter.
Looking for every opportunity that will bring us together to cement the unity of our country. Our country is the greatest property we have. So whatever will help us to keep it together should be of interest to everyone. And that is why we are here.
We should live peacefully with one another, irrespective and regardless of religion. We should love one another and be our neighbor's keeper.
The Salah homage was not without the traditional handshake with the president and the vice president by the FCT Muslim community, some of whom came with their family members for the special privilege to have a one-on-one contact with the president and commander-in-chief. In the State House, Shagun Lawale, NTA News.
And Muslims in Abuja joined their counterparts in other parts of the world to observe Eid al-Kabir prayer. Vice President Mohammed Namadi Sambo led top government functionaries to the prayer. Correspondent Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports that the prayer was shifted from the National Eid prayer ground along the Airport Road, Abuja, to the National Mosque because of the early morning downpour in parts of Abuja.
The National Deputy Chief Imam Ahmad Onilewura, who is holding forth for the Chief Imam presently on pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia, led the two obligatory rakats. prayed for peace, progress, prosperity, and unity in Nigeria and the leadership of the country. Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo admonished Muslims to continue to be good ambassadors of Islam.
This singular opportunity to extend our Salah greetings, our felicitations, and pray for the continued peace and development of our country. All Nigerians will continue to be our brothers and keepers, continue to cooperate with the administration of our president in order to succeed in the transformation of Nigeria.
The Imam later performed the symbolic slaughtering of a ram as an act of ibadah, commemorating how Prophet Ibrahim did it in place of his son Ismail, who was spared from being sacrificed. In keeping with the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muslims raised their voices in supplications and proclamations of Allah's greatness for sparing their lives to witness Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice. Eid Mubarak to the entire Muslim Ummah. From the National Mosque, Abuja, Muhammad Abdel Kadri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, our correspondent Timothy Yusuf visited some rural communities around the Federal Capital Territory earlier to witness how the people are celebrating Salah.
The ambience of Salah celebration in Jiwa, a suburb of Abuja. Happy, joyous children gaily dressed as they go round the peaceful semi-rural community in the spirit of Eid al-Kabir.
Doing this one, janglover meat, eating rice, and so on.
We eat food, and we go our mother place, we give us some things, we share.
We like it because happiness it brings for us some.
On occasions like this, the children are the channels through which families share food items. With much excitement, they go about sharing various food items to family and friends in line with the injunction of Allah. The elders of the community converged on the palace of the emir for the traditional Salah homage. The central theme of their discussion was peace.
Question of whether you are an Igbo, you are a Yoruba, or you are a Hausaman does not arise. The country belongs to all of us. We must think of Nigeria first. And in fact, in the developed world, people from various countries like the United States, they always think about their country first. When you think about your country first, if the country is in peace, development, and everything will come.
Karmo is ever busy and lively, a beehive of activities.
Also known as the Feast of Sacrifice, is considered one of the most important occasions in the Islamic calendar. It also commemorates the Prophet Muhammad's willingness to sacrifice his son's life to show his commitment to Allah. Correspondent Basi Taikbang reports on the mood of the celebration in some parts of the world.
Muslims around the world celebrate Eid al-Adha by slaughtering sheep, goats, camels and cows. An estimated 2 million pilgrims arrived to perform the stoning the devil ritual as part of the Eid al-Adha feast. Some express happiness to have completed one of the 5 pillars of Islam by taking part in the Hajj.
We are so tired at the same time. We are so happy because Allah serves us to perform Hajj in this year.
And in Moscow, thousands of Muslim worshippers gathered at a mosque in central Moscow, welcoming the festival of sacrifice known as Kurban Bayram in Russia and Central Asia. Some worshippers say the day provides them opportunity to cleanse themselves of all sins, as well as a chance to reflect on their lives. And at a mosque in the Sydney southwest, worshippers gathered to mark Eid al-Adha. People stood listening to politicians who spoke amidst tight security after reports that the mosque had received threats in the aftermath of the recent anti-terror raids in Sydney.
Friends, I acknowledge that even as we gather here in Sydney for celebration, many present will have family on the other side of the world. People you love who live in countries and communities torn by strife unimaginable here. Our thoughts are with them today.
Generally, the message around the globe as Muslim faithful mark the feast is that of love, peace, and submission, as exemplified by Prophet Abraham.
Muslims have been advised to follow the injunctions of the Almighty Allah in relation to peaceful coexistence with Muslims and non-Muslims. Bilkisu Abdul Razak Oduoye reports that this was the message delivered at the Eid prayer in a mosque in London.
With hugs and salutations of Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you, Muslim worshippers congratulated each other for witnessing this year's festival of Eid al-Kabir. Imam Asmaddin Karim says the big message from Allah is for Muslims to continue living in peace and obedience to Allah's guidance, and the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, who enjoined a peaceful coexistence between Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Ibrahim Ademola, while wishing Muslims a happy celebration, prays for unity, peace and love to abound in Nigeria at large. Happy Eid al-Kabir celebration. In London, Bilkisu Abdurazak Oduoye, NTA News.
And back home in Nigeria, the Special Presidential Committee on Distribution of Relief Materials to Victims of Insurgency has visited NYSC Orientation Camp and Yerwa Government Girls Secondary School in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, where it presented relief materials to internally displaced persons. Correspondent Yagumsu Bukar reports.
The Special Presidential Committee on Distribution of Relief Materials to Victims of Insurgency was constituted primarily to ensure that all relief packages reach internally displaced persons taking refuge across various camps in Maiduguri. Items worth millions of naira were provided at the two camps aimed at ameliorating the untold hardship people were subjected to in the face of insurgency. Members of the Special Presidential Committee did not mince words in reiterating their determination to justify the confidence reposed in them by President Goodluck Jonathan, saying they have not encountered any hitch so far in the course of discharging the responsibility bestowed on them. Receiving the relief materials at the NYC Orientation Camp and Yerwa Government Girls Secondary School for onward distribution to the IDPs, Abba Yerima Bukar and Zainabu Akura Habib commended the committee for living up to expectation. Some of the beneficiaries also applauded members of the Special Presidential Committee for the untiring effort. Similar presentation is expected to be carried out in other internally displaced persons camps in Maiduguri. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
And still in the spirit of the season, the President, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Pastor Yoris Ejafo, has congratulated Muslim faithful as they celebrate the 2014 Eid al-Kabir. Pastor Yoris Ejafo, in a statement, says an occasion like this calls for sober reflection and submission to the will of the Almighty God in the life of a nation and its citizens. He said the celebration should remind the faithful and Nigerians of the need to get closer to God in all spheres of our nation's life. The CAN president also called on Nigerians to pursue peace, love and understanding in the quest for a new Nigeria. This is the news on NTA International. When we return, we will recall some stories that made headline in the week as we periscope events that marked Nigeria's 54th independence anniversary. Don't go away.
Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja-Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the Loko Oweto Bridge in the north-central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social essential amenities, and through its various training programs for young people, guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
Time now to present to you Week in Review as packaged by Musa.
Hello and welcome. This week, Wednesday, which was the 1st October, Nigeria marks its 54th independence anniversary with the hope for brighter future and prosperity. The hope for brighter future was rekindled by the president's independence broadcast, while he also called on insurgents in the country to embrace peace. While assuring Nigerians of his administration's commitment to defeat all forms of violence, extremism, and terror attacks, which already claim many lives, called for a collective effort and cooperation of all Nigerians to bring lasting peace and security to the country.
It's our collective duty as patriots to avail our men and women in uniform of all the support they need to fight and win this war. This administration is committed to making Nigeria safe for all Nigerians, irrespective of our places of birth, how we worship God, and our political persuasion. To all those waging war against our country, I ask that you lay down your arms and embrace peace. To those who have genuine grievances, I have found that Nigeria will listen to you if you bring your grievances to the table of dialogue.
Congratulating Nigerians on the occasion of the 54th independence anniversary, President Jonathan said democratic stability remains a priority as the era of free, fair, and credible elections in the country has come to stay. As the nation marches forward into the next millennium, the president reiterated his resolve to implement to the letter the resolutions reached by the National Conference. The national broadcast also highlighted various programs and policies of its administration geared towards improving the life of every citizen as he commits himself to improve infrastructure in the country. Earlier on Sunday, Christians in Nigeria gathered at the National Christian Center in Abuja and offered special prayer at the interdenominational church service to mark the country's 54th independence anniversary. At the service, President Goodluck Jonathan appealed to Nigerians to be more united to overcome challenges facing the country. Changes notwithstanding, Nigeria continued to keep faith in God for silence, as Christians from all denominations with President Jonathan and his family members, past heads of state, members of the National Assembly, state governors, ministers, top government officials, including members of the diplomatic corps, were also in attendance. President Jonathan underscored the significance of united Nigeria in overcoming the various challenges confronting the nation. While the president saluted the gallantry of the armed forces and other security services in confronting Boko Haram, he reaffirmed his administration's commitment to overcome all forces against the growth and development of the country, as he also appreciated the continuous prayers by Nigerians.
We have started very well in a number of areas. We still have challenges in quite some areas, but I'm convinced that we are going in the right direction. Some of the challenges we're having, whether kidnapping or maybe the greatest problem we have, this issue of terror, is because all of us have not united to fight these challenges. Let me commend the security services, because if some of you know what they passed through, the sabotage and so on, you will appreciate the little they have done.
The designer of Nigeria's national flag has been awarded monthly salary for life. 3 others were also among the over 300 Nigerians conferred with national honors for their outstanding contribution to national development. Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan announced the welfare package at the National Honors Award and Investiture for 2013-2014. It was a special recognition by President Jonathan to single out Michael Akunkimi, the designer of the national flag, the head presidential steward, Michael Onu, a taxi driver, Osua Ime, and a traffic warden, Corporal Solomon Dauda, all in addition to the national honors conferred on them. The president, while announcing the welfare package, underscores the significance of dignity in labor, as demonstrated by them, instead of taking to crimes and criminality.
For these gentlemen, Onu, the taxi driver, and Corporal Dauda, we appreciate you. The Minister of FCT, are you here? Yes. Give one flat to each of them. And Secretary to Government, somebody who have contributed so much into the history of this country, the person who designed the Nigerian flag, Pa Michael Taiwo Akinkumi, who was also honored here. You have to place him on a salary of Special Assistant to the President.
He enjoined recipients to realize that national honors is an additional responsibility bestowed on them, as he encouraged Nigerians to strive for greatness in their endeavor. This is how far we can go this week. The news continues from here.
And many thanks, Musa Musa, for Weekend Review. Doctors in Sweden achieve another feat with the birth of transplanted womb baby. Still on health, Pakistan polio outbreak hits a record high. Plus, British Prime Minister says beheading of aid worker Henning is unforgivable. Nancy Godaronihu has details.
In Sweden, medical sources say a woman has given birth to a baby boy using a transplanted womb, the first ever successful attempt. The 36-year-old mother, who was born without a uterus, received a donated womb from a friend in her 60s.
When the baby came out by the cesarean section, it screamed almost immediately, and that is a good sign that the baby is doing fine. And of course, that was a fantastic happiness among me and the whole team.
It was breathtaking. Well, I think all of us felt that. And it was like having your own child, actually.
The British medical journal, The Lancet, says the baby was born prematurely in September, weighing 1.8 kg. The identity of the couple is yet to be released. Pakistan has recorded its highest number of polio cases in 15 years, with health officials blaming the rise on attacks on immunization teams. The number of new cases in 2014 so far is 202, exceeding the 199 cases in 2001, but short of 558 cases in 1999. The Northwestern Tribal Region is most affected, where militants target health workers. The militants accused doctors of being spies. This suspicion worsened after the U.S. was accused of using a fake vaccination program to track down Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden in Pakistan in 2011. About 60 health workers and security men have been killed by militants since December 2012. And British Prime Minister David Cameron has vowed that the UK would do all it could to find the killers of hostage aid worker Alan Henning. A video purported to show Mr. Henning being beheaded has been released by Islamic State militants ISIL. Mr. Cameron said ISIL was a repulsive and barbaric organization.
As a country, what we must do with our allies is everything we can to defeat this organization in the region, but also to defeat it at home. And we must do everything we can to hunt down and find the people who are responsible for this.
He described Mr. Henning, who was delivering aid to Syria in December when he was kidnapped, as a kind, gentle, compassionate, and caring man.
He went with many Muslim friends out to do no more than simply help other people. His Muslim friends will be mourning him at this special time of Eid.
Nancy Godiangonihu, NTA News.
Time now for weather update, and highlight is on major cities' temperatures in Nigeria and the globe. And our weather forecast does it on NTA International News. At this time, we thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.